On this Memorial Day, we honor and remember the brave men and women who fought for our country. I'm Virginia Huey. We begin with a story spanning more than 80 years and 2 continents of a young patriot lost and found, one that came full circle in time for this Memorial Day. For a Gold Star family from New York, closure came in a flag-draped casket. After 83 years missing in the South Pacific, the recently identified remains of Staff Sergeant Nicholas Governale finally made it home.
But 83 years later is a miracle, as far as we're all concerned, that they found him.
The World War II gunner's final journey home was bittersweet for Anthony Veneziano, who spent a lifetime missing an uncle he never met.
Because he was the missing link. It was, Uncle Nicky. They never found Uncle Nicky.
Anthony and his siblings grew to know their Uncle Nicky through images frozen in time on Kodak paper and stories told at family gatherings. As a first-generation Sicilian American, Governale enlisted in the Army in 1939 to serve his country and support his immigrant parents.
When my grandfather became disabled and not able to work, as the eldest son, he felt responsible for the family.
Edward Veneziano of East Northport says his uncle's devotion was evident in his last letter home.
May 12, 1941. Dear Dad, Mom, and everyone, if by an act of God anything ever happens to me, I want you to know that I have a $3,000 life insurance policy in Mom and Dad's name, and a will leaving all my belongings to them. We must face the truth, so don't start to cry and worry. It is what any sensible person would do. I am closing now with love to all. From your son, Nicky.
2 months later, Governale was killed on July 10, 1943, when his B-25C-1 bomber crashed into the sea off Guadalcanal. He was declared missing in action. Governale was 22.
It was very painful for my grandparents. My grandmother wouldn't wear black because she felt that if she wore black, it would mean that he was dead. So by not wearing black, there was always the hope of that maybe he'll come back.
As the years stretched to 8 decades, the family's hope faded, but the mystery of what happened to their fallen hero remained. Then, last summer, Anthony received a message.
My sister called me and she said, "Anthony, they found Uncle Nicky." I said, "What do you mean they found Uncle Nicky?"
Project Recover, a nonprofit dedicated to locating Americans missing in action, launched a mission in 2016 to find Governale. Using sonar-equipped underwater vehicles, the team eventually located the plane under 121 feet of water near the Solomon Islands.
We collectively as Americans make a promise to that individual and their family that should they fall in battle, we're going to do everything that we can to bring them home.
83 years after Governale was presumed lost forever, his remains were recovered by a U.S. POW MIA dive team on May 15, 2025. Members of Project Recover folded an American flag over the site to symbolize a promise kept.
Never give up hope. Never give up hope.
Vision, halt!
Of all the aching, unresolved MIA stories to emerge from World War II, one more is over. Governale was buried with full military honors at Linden Hill Cemetery in the family plot with his parents.
Thank God that it was able to come to this, because it means a lot. Now when we come here, we have Uncle Nick. That means a lot.
A long-lost war hero home at last. The hallowed grounds where Long Island's Revolutionary War heroes were buried are more than 250 years old and showing signs of age. But now volunteers are honoring the fallen by working year-round to give the centuries-old cemeteries new life.
We have to honor those that have given us our freedom, the ones that protect our freedom or have protected our freedom.
They are places where valor rests. Colonial cemeteries from Montauk to Manhasset serve as the final resting places for thousands of Revolutionary War veterans and founding families of Long Island. Many of these centuries-old grave markers are deteriorating, blackened with mold and moss. The inscriptions are barely legible as time and the elements slowly erase all memory.
It's a shame. It's history lost.
But an army of volunteers is changing this. They call themselves the Long Island Cemetery Preservation Group. The nonprofit organization is on a mission to restore and preserve what they feel is an often forgotten and unsung part of Long Island's history.
There's definitely a need for this kind of work. A lot of the cemeteries in the area are neglected and haven't been cleaned or looked at for years. And sometimes it's the only existing proof of who the early settlers were of the area.
On this day, they gather to honor the fallen by cleaning and repairing the headstones at Old Baptist Cemetery, an 18th century burial ground in Coram.
You find one that looks like it needs some tender loving care. You spray it with some detergent and then scrub away.
There are 14 Revolutionary War patriots buried here. Several of Mary Alice Wisniewski's ancestors fought for America's independence.
It is a way to look back and respect my family and respect the sacrifices that other generations have made.
They represent our freedom. They had to work under very adverse conditions, especially on Long Island. They did a lot for us, and this is the least we can do in return.
I like doing this. It's rewarding in the fact that we clean them and we honor them in that way.
Volunteers spend hours scrubbing, chipping, and washing away centuries worth of dirt and grime. Long hidden names lost to time become readable again. Stories forgotten are now remembered.
So when I'm doing this and I'm cleaning them, it's exciting. And then when I'm done, I go home and I research them so I can find out what their lives are all about. So it's just it's an honor and a privilege to be able to bring somebody's death back to life.
Since the group began their effort in 2023, they've cleaned about 3,000 headstones in a dozen cemeteries. The volunteers are united in their belief that the greatest casualty of war is being forgotten.
We don't want to forget any of these people. You know, they were once loved. Without them, we wouldn't be who we are today.
250 years after these patriots made the ultimate sacrifice, this simple yet heartfelt tribute shines. Every day is Memorial Day for the mother of Army Private First Class Raheen Tyson Hyder of Bayshore. He was killed in action in Iraq 23 years ago. Kathy Hyder has made it her mission to honor her son's sacrifice. There is a section of Long Island National Cemetery dedicated to an army of soldiers from the War on Terror who did not make it home.
I think of you every day.
It is a place Kathy Hyder has visited hundreds of times over the past 23 years to be close to a missing piece of her heart.
So many years have gone by, but you still remain so heavy on my heart.
Her son, Private First Class Raheen Tyson Hyder of Bayshore, was the first soldier from Long Island killed in Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Raheen was one amazing, mischievous young man, and he was just talented.
Raheen was a gifted athlete and artist. He planned to use his GI Bill to attend college after his service and pursue a career in finance. But the 22-year-old infantryman's dreams died on July 24, 2003. He was killed when his convoy came under enemy fire north of Baghdad.
I'll never forget that day that they came to my door, and I just knew he was gone. I just knew.
In the pain of her loss, Kathy found her calling in life, and she made a promise to her fallen son.
Making sure that I kept his memory alive and the memory of all of the brave men and women that have sacrificed their lives for this country.
In 2003, Kathy began her mission of remembrance in the halls of Congress. She pushed for the passage of a bill in Raheen's name to increase the death benefit for armed forces members from $10,000 to as much as $100,000. The bill passed under the HEROES Act.
It's changed the lives of so many.
In 2015, Kathy co-founded Remembering Heroes. The nonprofit offers support services to active duty service members, veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families.
We help them with housing. We help them if they need furniture. I work with the homeless veterans.
Kathy broke ground for her latest service project last year. It's a 14-acre health and wellness serenity ranch for veterans in Bunnell, Florida.
Every day, I'm thinking, what can I do next to help that next family, that next service member?
For Kathy, every act of goodwill accomplished is a promise kept to her fallen son.
I love you. I'll never stop loving you, and I will always remember you.
Thank you for watching Newsday TV's Memorial Day special. I'm Virginia Huey. Have a safe holiday.